Nelson, alcoholic addict. That's not my real name. It's my pen name that I use here at LOL Sober. But what's real is I am an alcoholic and I am an addict. And last week I talked about the TV show Andor, which I really like. It's a new Star Wars spinoff. It's on Disney Plus. Highly recommend. It's my newsletter, so I'm going to talk about it again. Just deal with it, buddy. But on that TV show, most recent episode, a character used the phrase, "The axe forgets, the tree remembers." Again, the axe forgets, the tree remembers. And he was using it to make the point that people who hurt others go about their business after causing pain. The axes of the world, they move on. And the people who got hurt never forget. And it's a pretty profound statement when I thought about it. You know, the idea of an axe chopping away at things over and over and over and over again, then moving on to the next thing. It's a strong visual. You know, I've met people who just go door to door hurting people. I've been that guy. So there are axes out there. And then, you know, there's the trees that absorb those blows and they are changed forever from the axe. And it is just a very visceral, in-your-face way to think about the impact we have in this world. And I have been the axe and I've been the tree for sure. I tried to find out where it originally came from, that phrase, and it's apparently an old African proverb, and it was also the title of a poetry book. So I'm not sure who said that phrase first, but it's hung around for a while, and it's certainly stood the test of time. And that saying is a perfect one to unpack for a sober person, because I think a huge part of my problem in active addiction was either causing pain and regretting it, or having someone else cause pain and then I hang on to it and I try to numb it. It was just a constant inability to process pain, whether I did it or absorbed it. And I think in sobriety, it's still true. I still spend an inordinate amount of time either saying something that I regret and then having to apologize and trying to figure out how to apologize for it, or someone does something crappy and I stew over it, And so I ended up thinking, which one is better to aim for? Do I want to be the axe or the tree? And I can tell you right away, I don't want to be the axe. In fact, I can't be the axe. But yet I think sometimes that I do want to be that kind of person. And what I mean by that is sometimes I start thinking about how I want to be someone who, I don't take shit from anybody, right? I get in your face. If there's a problem, look out. You got to deal with me now. I want to be somebody who's relentless and maybe even intimidating, that like I just don't take shit from anybody. Well, then I realized as I thought about it, like I can be those things without causing pain. Like I can be, maybe I'm not relentless and in your face, but I can be persistent, right? That's a better way of thinking about it, I think. If I get charged twice for dinner at a restaurant, I think there's a way to stand my ground without being a total asshole where I say, hey, you charged me $200. It was only $100. Can you please take care of that? I think there's a way to do that without being the axe, Maybe I'm a butter knife. Maybe that's a better way of thinking. I will be a butter knife sometimes when I need to be. So that leaves a tree, right? So if I'm not the axe, maybe I'm the tree. But when I thought about it, I'm not sure the tree is a healthy place to land for me in sobriety either, because the tree, the way I'm visualizing it, it represents something that got hurt and survived, but can't forget it, cannot move on. And it's important, I should note here, that I'm thinking more of the day-to-day pain that pops up in life, not horrific, traumatic, that person should be in jail for doing that kind of pain. That's not what I'm thinking of. If someone purposely burns your house down while you're away, by all means, like, feel free to hang on to that for a little bit. Maybe not invite them over for s'mores the next time you have a little get together. I get that. I'm not talking about that kind of pain. Because most of the pain I encounter these days, they're not earth-shattering, hurtful things. They're the things that are small enough that I tend to not do any work to process them. I think that's not big enough to call my sponsor or go to a therapist over. But then those are the things that are big enough that I tend to collect them in a big pile in the corner that is extremely problematic. You do not want 25 of these things stacked in your attic, metaphorically. So I don't want to be the tree either most of the time. I guess what I do want to be is a very healthy tree. Is that possible in this in that phrase? I don't know, but I want to be a very healthy tree. I want to be a tree that an axe might chop into a little bit, but that I'm a kind of tree that absorbs pain, processes it, and moves on. No lingering feelings. And that might mean I put a boundary up where I don't let that axe come over by my tree stump very often. But if I'm hanging on to everything that happened that caused pain, it's a disaster. It's not a way to live a spiritual life and sober life. So going forward, I think I'm going to do my damnedest to be the healthiest tree in the whole forest. Thanks for letting me share.